Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick question before we dive in. Have you ever been cheated on? Or had someone you love move on way too fast? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your stories. Alright, this one's intense. Grab a coffee, settle in, and enjoy the video. I remember the exact moment I knew she was the one. It wasn't some grand, cinematic thing. No fireworks, no orchestral soundtrack. It was just a quiet afternoon video call. Her hair was a mess. She was making tea in her tiny kitchen overseas, and she looked up at the screen and said, "You feel like home." That was it. That was when I knew. This wasn't just some long-distance romance. This was my person, my future, my forever. We met online during the pandemic. She lived in another country. Different culture, different religion, different everything. But none of it mattered. From the beginning, we clicked on a soul level, and we fought like hell to be together. I flew across continents to meet her. She introduced me to her family. I learned her language. She started learning mine. When we were apart, we messaged constantly, sent each other food packages, even coordinated our sleep schedules just to dream together. When she said she wanted to take my last name, I cried. I'm not even the emotional type, but in that moment, I felt like I'd built something real, like I mattered in this world. We got married in August 2024. The photos looked perfect. Two young, laughing idiots who thought they'd cracked the code of love. She called me my husband, my everything. I called her my miracle. She posted about me all the time, messaged my friends just to say how happy she was, told them she was the luckiest girl alive, that she couldn't wait to build a life with me. And I believed her. With every piece of my heart, I believed her. After the wedding, she had to go back to her country to finish some work. We promised it would just be a few months apart. I started making plans to move. I passed a language exam for her country, quit my job, applied for a family visa. I even started browsing apartments near her city, places we could live together, maybe even raise kids someday. I was all in. But then spring came, and everything began to unravel. Not all at once, but slowly, like ice cracking under your feet. I was at a work camp abroad when it began. Long days, sleepless nights. And just when I thought I could breathe, it got worse. Much worse. I got falsely accused on social media of running a racist account. My name, my photos, my job, everything was posted online. Strangers sent me death threats. They doxed me. My parents started getting phone calls in the middle of the night. My little brothers, barely teenagers, had to delete their own accounts out of fear. My mom had a blood pressure crisis. My dad, already struggling with his eyes, lost partial vision from the stress. I stopped sleeping. I deleted everything. I disappeared from the internet. And I told no one, not even her. I kept thinking I could protect her from it. That if I just got... But in reality, I was just shutting her out of a world she was supposed to be part of. And in the process, I lost myself. I started taking antidepressants. 200 milligrams. The global maximum dosage. Therapy helped a little, but I was numb. Just a husk going through motions. She would message me, "I love you, my husband." And I would smile. But I couldn't feel it anymore. I couldn't feel anything. I became quiet, dull. What she later called dry. But I was still fighting. Every single day. Fighting to get better. Fighting for us. I just didn't know she had already stopped. By the time April rolled around, I was barely functioning. I woke up each morning with a knot in my chest. Like something inside me had snapped but never fully broken. Therapy helped keep me upright, but not alive. Antidepressants numbed the edges. But the pain was still there. Dull, low, always humming beneath the surface. I still messaged her every day. Still told her I loved her. Still asked about her job, her friends, her life. But my texts got shorter. My voice calls less enthusiastic. I couldn't fake joy anymore, and I didn't want to lie to her. What I didn't realize was, to her, that silence was louder than any words I could have said. She kept being sweet, loving, even excited. She messaged me selfies with captions like, "Miss you, hubby," counting down the days, promise we'll cook that pasta together when I visit. And every time she said those things, I wanted to scream, I'm not okay. Please ask me what's wrong. Please, don't give up on me. But I said nothing. I convinced myself that silence was strength, that shielding her from my pain was the only way to protect our love. I was wrong, so wrong. Then came June. She came to visit my country again. I remember waiting at the airport, heart pounding, palms sweating. Not from excitement, but fear. What if I wasn't enough anymore? What if she saw through the cracks? When she walked through the arrival gate, smiling and waving, I tried to mirror her joy. I hugged her tightly, kissed her forehead, whispered, I missed you. But she looked at me strangely, like she didn't recognize the person holding her. Later that night, she told me, you don't look happy to see me. I froze. How do you tell someone that your soul is shattered, but you still love them more than life itself? How do you explain that your silence isn't rejection? It's survival. We had good days that trip. I can't lie. We went hiking, took selfies at the lake, tried new restaurants. She bought a handmade necklace and made me tie it around her neck. One night, she put her head on my chest and whispered, you're still my home. I believed her. I let myself believe everything was going to be okay. But deep down, there was something off. There were fewer kisses, fewer I love yous. She was scrolling through her phone more than usual. At times, she seemed distracted. I chalked it up to stress, jet lag, work, anything but what it actually was. Her flight back came too fast. At the airport, she cried, hugged me like she was still in love, said, send me more pictures of us. Okay? I want to make an album. I kissed her forehead again, that familiar spot, and said, of course. And then she was gone. 2 weeks later, she barely replied to my texts. I sent her a meme, no response. Told her about a job interview, nothing. I called twice, she let both go to voicemail. Then came the message. Long, cold, careful. She said, my feelings disappeared in May. Even seeing you in person didn't bring them back. I read it over and over, like my brain refused to process the words. Disappeared? How does love just disappear? I stared at the screen for an hour. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, but I didn't know what to say. What do you say when your whole world slips out from under you in a single sentence? She said I had become too emotionally distant, that I wasn't the same person she married, that our values no longer aligned, that I had changed. She said she was tired of defending her views to me. I still don't even know what that meant. We rarely fought. We respected each other's beliefs. Or at least, I thought we did. She ended the message with, please let me go. That line gutted me more than anything else. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I still care about you. Not even, this hurts. Just, let me go. I wanted to scream, to fight, to beg. But I didn't. Instead, I replied, you can open the divorce file if that's what you want. But I won't be the one to do it. Because deep down, I was still hoping. Still waiting for the woman I loved to come back. I thought maybe, just maybe, this was a phase. A breakdown. That she'd wake up one morning, remember everything we had, and come home. But I didn't know. She was already gone. After her message, I didn't sleep for days. I kept rereading it like a prayer gone wrong, looking for a loophole, a sign she didn't really mean it. I responded carefully, lovingly, trying not to push, trying to remind her, I'm still here, I'm still yours. And she responded too. At first, we texted long messages for a couple more weeks. Emotional, conflicted. She said she was torn, but also sure. She said she cared about me, but not in the way she used to, that her heart was empty, and it wasn't my fault, but also, maybe it was. She blamed my silence, said I had closed her out, that she had spent months trying to hold on to us alone, that I had grown cold. And I'll be honest, I didn't even try to defend myself, because maybe she was right, but still, it didn't make sense. Just a month before, she was crying in my arms at the airport. A few weeks earlier, she asked, then, Slowly, her messages started to change tone. Less nostalgic, less torn, more final, more transactional. She began pushing harder for divorce. "Please," she wrote, "please let me go. I need to be free to move on." That's when something inside me cracked. Not anger, not yet, but a numb kind of dread, like watching your house burn from the outside, knowing your whole life is still in there. I didn't agree to divorce. Couldn't. I told her, "I won't stop you if that's your choice, but I won't initiate it, because I still believe in us." She didn't argue anymore. She just went silent again. Days passed. Weeks. Then came the bombshell. She sent a message. Short, blunt, heartless. "I have a new boyfriend now. He's officially my boyfriend." No apology. No lead-up. No explanation. Just that. I read it 5 times before I even felt anything. She continued, "He's met almost all my friends. They love him. I've met his mom and sister. We're very happy." It had been barely a month since her feelings disappeared. 2 weeks since she kissed another guy, suddenly, and didn't know how it happened. 3 weeks since she slept next to me in my bed. 3 weeks since she asked for more photos of us. Now she was already meeting someone else's family, already loved by someone else's friends. I asked, shaking, "When did this start?" She said, "Shortly after I got back. It just happened. I didn't expect it." That was the night I truly broke. Because it meant she was never confused. She wasn't healing. She was already replacing me. The grieving stage, she skipped it. I was still clinging to hope. She was already kissing someone else. I couldn't stop myself from asking questions, even though every answer made things worse. "What does he have that I don't?" She replied, "He's emotionally open. He makes me laugh. He's expressive. He aligns with my values. He's not dry." "Do you kiss him in public?" "Yes, we do." "Do your friends know?" "Yes, and they adore him. They say he brings out the best in me." "Do you talk about me?" "No, not really. I've moved on." That last one hit like a blade. I had become a ghost in a story that used to be mine. I asked her why it all changed so fast. Why I didn't get even a month of trying. Why she had said she loved me in June, but started dating someone else in July. Her response? I guess I was just holding on to the idea of us, not the reality. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But most of all, I wanted her to hurt the way I was hurting. And she didn't. She was glowing, happy, publicly in love again. Meanwhile, I was a shattered version of myself, scrolling through old pictures, reading old texts, trying to figure out when exactly I stopped being enough. I didn't cry when she told me she had a new boyfriend. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't collapse on the floor like in the movies. I just sat there, staring at my phone, watching the 3 little dots appear and disappear as she typed. That was the moment I knew she was really gone. Not just from my life, but from my heart, from my story, from every plan I'd ever made. We had shared everything. A wedding, vows, whispered promises, the kind of late-night conversations that make you believe in soulmates. And now, in a matter of weeks, she was saying things like, "We just weren't compatible. You changed. I felt alone for months. He just makes me feel alive again," as if none of that history mattered, as if I'd been a placeholder, a step in her evolution toward someone better. I started to wonder if I'd imagined it all. The love, the connection, the future we dreamed of. Was it ever real? Or was I just convenient? She said she didn't want to hurt me, but she did, over and over. She told me they laughed together in public, that he made her feel seen, that he sang to her on the subway and made her blush in front of strangers, that he wasn't dry like me, that he knew how to show emotion. Meanwhile, I was here, in the same apartment we once planned to live in together, surrounded by the little things she left behind. Coffee mug, a scarf, a perfume bottle with just enough left to still ruin my mornings. Every corner of my world whispered her name, and yet, she had already erased mine from hers. Her friends welcomed him instantly. The same friends who toasted our wedding and posted hashtags about true love forever. Her family liked him. Even her mom, who once called me her future son, now spoke of her new relationship as if it was the real beginning. And that's what broke me. Not the betrayal, not the new guy, but how easily I was forgotten. I still hadn't told my family what had happened. My mother was still asking, "Any update on the visa? When is she coming back?" My little brothers still called her their sister-in-law. My father, who went partially blind from stress during my scandal, still asked about her health. And I just smiled. Because how do you tell the people who believed in your fairy tale that the princess got bored and left before the end? I tried to find closure, some explanation that made sense. I asked her, "Was there someone else before him? Is that why you stopped feeling anything for me?" She paused, then said, "No, I didn't cheat on you. It wasn't like that. I just moved on emotionally before I admitted it to myself." Moved on emotionally. That phrase haunted me, because I hadn't moved at all. I was still there, standing in the ashes of what we built, trying to understand how someone could unlove me so quickly, so completely. I don't want to fix it anymore. That message killed something in me. It wasn't even cruel. It was just final. I'd been preparing for anger, for conflict, for begging or guilt, but not indifference. She didn't hate me. She didn't even resent me. She just didn't care anymore. That was worse than hate. Worse than a messy, explosive breakup. Because it meant I was no longer relevant. Not even enough to spark emotion. I became a name in her past. A deleted chat. A wedding photo shoved in a box somewhere. I was grieving a woman who was still alive. Just alive in someone else's world now. There was a day, maybe the worst one, when I walked past a couple at the train station. She told me once that I made her feel safe. That I was the only man who ever truly understood her. That she wanted to grow old with me. I remember her crying during our wedding vows. Holding my hand under the table at dinner. Telling my mother she would never leave. Thanks so much for watching. If the story hit you in any way, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share if you think someone else needs to hear it too. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep telling real stories like this. Take care of yourselves, and have a great day.